Welcome back to another review with Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Shame and Game. It's Skrilla coming to you with another gaming review and some gameplay rolling in the background to grasp your attention. And today we are reviewing, Alan Wake 2.
And here we go.
Now, I know the game came out at the beginning of October, but I don't want to be that guy. But let me just start with this. This game is pure fire, blue flame, and likely one of my favorites of this year. Alan Wake 2 has the horror, survival, puzzles, and everything else that's in my top tier games. Even with the small flaws, the game still feels almost perfect in every way. Remedy, here's a toast to you. You did not disappoint. Sidebar, I do have some gameplay in the background, but I promise it's spoiler free. Just some game scenes of me getting my ass whipped by the Taken. I tried my hardest to keep this spoiler free as I go through this review. It was kind of difficult, so bear with me. Alan Wake 2 is a psychological thriller that starts with introducing us to Saga Anderson, the secondary character of the game, but feels more like a primary since you're playing with her 60% of the game. She's an FBI detective who is sent to Bright Falls to solve the mystery of a series of murders happening on this small island. Aside from her is Alex Casey, who's played by legendary Sam Lake, the face of Max Payne series and also the director of Remedy Entertainment. Together, they attempt to figure out a recent murder case, but things get worse as Alan Wake comes back into the picture. Alan Wake lets them know about the Dark Place. If you played the first, the Dark Place is alive and well, and together, they must team together to defeat Alan's doppelganger. Not going to spoil the name, almost did, while taking out his cult following. So the game breaks up into two realities. When you're playing as Saga, you're mostly playing in the real world in a location called Bright Falls. You get this scenic, realistically backcountry type scene that only rich people can only afford to travel to and get murdered. Whereas when you're playing as Alan, you're stuck in the Dark Place, where it's an eerie, miserable place in New York City covered in black fog. Both places are beautiful, in a weird way for the Dark Place, but in both places the lighting is insanely accurate as you travel back and forth through buildings, woods, etc. For example, when you're traveling through the woods with Saga, at the top of the island you get the small orange dusk rays that shines through the trees, but as you go down further into the mountain it gets dark as where you'd be forced to whip out your flashlight. Quick sidebar, I did have to go ahead and raise my brightness because I have an OLED and we all know how dark colors are on OLED TV, so a little punk ass flashlight didn't help much. I actually had to raise the brightness on the TV. Going through different hotels and subways with little to no light is what you expect when using Alan. Let me add that Remedy's creepy ass music adds an extra dose of creepiness and doesn't help when you're surprised by an enemy. The enemies, which are called the Taken, which are no slouches either. You have a variety of these light-hating haters walking around that will rush you out of nowhere, others will throw shit at you, and there's always a brute that will eat all the attacks that you throw at them. Though quite annoying, I really enjoyed them as they made the game a bit more challenging. If you know me, I love challenges. Remedy also gave us a few bosses that weren't too easy and also gave me this fucking fear when fighting a few of them. Looking at you, missing. Never mind. As for combat, I didn't feel much of the first Alan Wake combat feel at all. It was much more control with the side dish of Resident Evil 2. You got your quick slots to quickly using healing to getting back to pew-pews, transitioning through weapons, dodging, running, shooting, and attacking all felt quicker and more responsive than its predecessor. I enjoyed dodging the hell out of the Taken and giving them a quick two-piece before putting it around in their heads. The variety of the guns didn't change much. Alan has a revolver, shotgun, and flare gun as he had before, but with Saga, you get a few different weapons. With her, for example, use a Glock instead of Alan's revolver, which shoots a bit quicker, but possibly, I'm not for sure if this is confirmed, does less damage. If you explore a bit, you can find some other cool weapons around by breaking into some stashes. Let's not forget the light boost with your flashlight that breaks the shadow armor of the Taken. You will need to keep your flashlight charged up to use this before taking advantage of the Taken. That sounds crazy. Last but not least, the dodge and perfect dodge is still available, and please make sure you make use of it, as you can get mobbed by a few of them at once, leaving open to take into Pound Town. You know what I'm saying? See what I did there? Going through the story though, there were times I was completely lost, not knowing what to do, and let me explain. So while on this whole detective journey with Saga, you're left to investigate people around Bright Falls to figure out what the hell is going on this small island, right? At the same time, she has this place where she goes in her mind and it has a full-on investigation room called the Mind Place, with a case board that you have to pay attention to. After receiving a clue from finding or talking to someone or finding something, you have to actually go back to the case board or the Mind Place to trigger some of the events. Sometimes I found myself roaming around for like 15 minutes until I figured that I had to go back into the Mind Place and add all the investigation pieces to certain cases just to move forward in the story. This mechanic was something that I had to get used to, but after you figure out that you have to visit this place from time to time, you'll quickly get the hang of going back to quickly progress through the next steps of the story. Alan has almost something similar. Instead of the Mind Place, you're in his writing room, but you have to find certain events that he has to write in his book that will change the entirety of the location you are in. Kind of hard to explain, but it was definitely something to get used to as well. But once you got it all figured out, you'll learn how genius Remedy was to come up with such an idea. Other than getting used to the events mechanic, there were some quirky glitches like rounds floating above my gun or my flashlight getting stuck above my head. Another thing I noticed since I was playing on PS5 was the resolution downgrading when reaching some parts of the game. It was usually brief, but you can catch a glimpse of the resolution changing at times. Everything else, Remedy has done a great job thoroughly polishing this game. Graphics, insane. Combat on par with Resident Evil 2, the remake. The darkness of survival horror had me on my toes, and the story was engaging with a touch of humor that adds some charm. You may want to turn on your nightlight or watch a few cartoons after playing a session or two of Alan Wake 2. Remedy, you did your thing, and looking for any DLC to release in the future. And that's it, my peeps. Alan Wake 2 is a hell of a ride through the twisted mind of what Alan has created. Are you looking forward to picking this up? If you played this game, let me know what you liked or disliked about the game. Please make sure to drop a like to add me to the algos, and if you're liking the content, please subscribe. Again, it's Grilla, and thanks for stopping by to watch the video. Peace.
Christ!
Oh shit! What in the hell was that? Oh my gosh.